The single most important matchup, I think, in this series is Amen Thompson on Steph Curry. If Amen Thompson is giving Steph Curry problems the way that we saw earlier this season when Steph only had 3 points, the Warriors are going to be in a world of trouble.
Klay Thompson is a phenomenal player, no doubt, but when Stephen Curry is on your squad, there's never a real crisis. He's the kind of game changer who turns pressure into highlights and problems into points.
Curry, three, oh! He'll dance. He'll throw up a shot. Oh,
are you kidding me?
Geometrically, that should not have happened.
Pause for a second, because what Stephen Curry is doing right now feels unreal. This man isn't just playing basketball, he's redefining it. When NBA stars, multimillionaires, and top-tier athletes are left, jaw dropped on the bench just watching his shots, you know you're witnessing something special. That reaction. It's the perfect snapshot of Steph's explosive performance against the Houston Rockets. Game 1. On the road, against the second seed in the West and one of the league's most elite defenses. And who rises to the moment? Of course, Stephen Curry. Curry and Jimmy Butler are turning into the ultimate dynamic duo, Batman and Robin. But some nights, it's hard to tell who's who. When these two are locked in, the Warriors don't just look dangerous, they look unstoppable. And if you didn't believe this team could take down anyone before, it's becoming impossible to ignore now. No disrespect to Amen Thompson, one of the best perimeter defenders out there, but when it's Steph in the playoffs, you can throw out the scouting reports, the matchup, even the noise from folks like Stephen A. Smith, because when Curry's on the floor, there's no script for stopping him. And really, how do you guard that?
Thompson comes out on Curry, three, bullseye.
Jimmy Butler, an all-time great in his own right, was left on the bench shaking his head in disbelief, because what Stephen Curry put on display, that was vintage Steph. He lit up the scoreboard with 31 points, added 6 rebounds and 3 assists, but the stat line barely scratches the surface. He did all of that with a staggering true shooting percentage close to 80%. And get this, he only took 2 free throws. That's efficiency on another planet. And let's not forget, this was on the road, against one of the best defensive units in the league, with one of the top perimeter defenders in his face all night. But that's nothing new for Curry. Time and time again, people ask the same question: who's going to stop him? And the answer is always the same: nobody. What made this performance so special, though, wasn't just the shooting, it was how he dissected Houston's defense from every angle. He didn't just settle for the deep ball. He found seams, attacked the rim, and adjusted on the fly. Just look at this next play. He starts out being guarded by Amen Thompson, but quickly gets the switch onto Dillon Brooks. A solid screen from Kevon Looney or post, depending on who you meant, to give Steph just enough room, and when Brooks tries to chase him off the three-point line, Curry doesn't hesitate. He uses that space, attacks the lane, and finishes at the rim with ease. That kind of adjustment was a running theme in the first quarter. Houston came out aggressive, physical, and clearly focused on shutting down Steph from deep. But Curry didn't force it, he adapted. He used their pressure against them. Like in this sequence, he hands the ball off to Jimmy Butler, then gets it right back. The defense overcommits, both defenders flying out to stop the three. But Steph blows right by them and glides in for a smooth finish. Or take this moment. Steven Adams finds himself isolated against Curry nearly 30 feet from the basket. Now Steph could have taken the step-back three, but instead, he attacks. One dribble move and he's gone, getting all the way to the rim with no hesitation. And this is exactly why Curry is so impossible to contain. If you try to go big and throw guys like Adams or Alperen Sengun at him to cut off the perimeter, Steph just switches gears and punishes you with drives. But it's not just about him creating for himself. When you factor in playmakers like Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green, the defense has even more to worry about. Like on this play, where Steph... Even Jimmy Butler, one of the most battle-tested stars in NBA history, was watching from the bench in disbelief. And for good reason. What Steph Curry delivered wasn't just impressive, it was classic Steph. He opened the game with 5 straight buckets inside the arc, showcasing his strength, handles, and elite finishing ability. The Rockets came out with a hyper-aggressive game plan to push him off the three-point line, but instead of forcing deep shots, Steph turned their pressure against them. He used their momentum, took smart angles, and carved up the defense at the rim. Just watch this off the ball. Curry slips behind the defense off a perfectly timed screen from Jimmy Butler, cuts to the basket, and finishes with ease. That's the kind of off-ball movement that makes guarding him a nightmare. And while Houston stuck with their aggressive approach, trying desperately to limit his looks from deep, it didn't matter, because at any point Steph can flip the switch. You can't overplay him, you can't outthink him, you can only watch as he takes over. That's why you never doubt Steph Curry, no matter the matchup. We've seen this story before. Think back to the NBA Finals. Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Evan, Al Horford. That Celtics defense was elite, filled with versatile wings and a switchable core. And none of it stopped Steph. He absolutely cooked them. And guess who was coaching from the sideline that series? The Rockets' current head coach. So yes, Amen Thompson is a top-tier defender. Yes, the Rockets are young and tough, but when you've seen Curry light up some of the best defenses in modern basketball, you just don't bet against him. And the craziest part, the Warriors don't just have the best player on the floor. They've got the second best too, Jimmy freaking Butler. I've spent 5 minutes talking about Steph, but Jimmy Butler deserves his own spotlight, because this game was one of his most complete performances yet. Take a look at the box score: 25 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals, lockdown defense, clutch buckets, elite vision. It was Jimmy being Jimmy, especially in the playoffs. This is who he is, a two-way force who rises when the stakes are highest. Just look at the IQ on this play. Jimmy rotates over to help on the Sengun roll, recovers to Jabari Smith on the perimeter, shifts back toward the lane, and reads the pass to Sengun like a book, deflecting it and blowing up the play. Or here, when Sengun brings the ball up to casually Butler's lurking strips it and takes it coast to coast for the game-sealing dunk. Since the Warriors acquired Butler, they've become the league's best defensive team. And it's not because they're loaded with elite individual defenders, it's because they're built around two of the smartest, most disruptive defenders in the game, Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler. With guys like that setting the tone, everyone else just needs to know their role. Look at someone like Brandon Pajimski. He's not the fastest or most athletic guy on the court, but he's smart, he crashes the boards, and he's always in the right spot. And that goes for offense, too, because when you've got Steph and Jimmy running the show, all you really have to do is be in the right place at the right time. They'll handle the rest. Take this sequence. Jimmy picks off a pass, takes off in transition, draws in the defense, and finds Pajimski wide open in the corner. Splash, or this play Butler drives baseline. Brooks helps over, and Jimmy floats mid-air just long enough to fire a perfect pass to Santos in the corner. Another clean look, created by Butler's gravity and timing. That is the key. That's the kind of gravity we're talking about. Jimmy doesn't even have the ball, but when Pajemski comes up to set the screen, both defenders stay locked onto Butler. They don't give him an inch, and because of that, Pod slips to the rim completely unguarded for an easy layup. That's what separates this version of the Warriors. You're looking at a team with two players, Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, who can hit any shot, create for others at an elite level, and who show up when it matters most. Not sometimes, every time. We've now watched Golden State in 2 play-in battles and 1 true playoff game, and in all 3, Curry and Butler didn't just play well, they took over. These aren't just good performances, they're statements, and that's why I'm not betting against them. Not now, not in the playoffs, not ever. If you're enjoying the ride, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, it really helps out. But most importantly, take care of yourself. Catch you next time.